When you're going through your program, you'll find there's a couple of little tasks that we do online that are really important, and they're the, well, a lot of them are, but we've got the falling leaf and the change of direction, and quite often the two sort of get blended in together, but it's real important that you keep them separate and you understand how they both work. So I'll just give you a little quick explanation here. The change of direction, this one, when you're walking backwards in this one, with the horse following a feel, is like a serpentine as you go backwards. That's a flowing move. Okay, there shouldn't be any stop in your change of direction. Okay, so if you're doing a change of direction and you find your horse's back end stops and then his front end goes across, he hasn't really used his body properly in his turn, it's not flowing, and you'll need to get that to where it's nice and smooth in the turn. So a change of direction is, there's movement on both ends of your horse the whole time. Now, depending on your horse, how soft it is, will depend on how smooth that'll be. Soft, I mean like laterally. So as you change directions, you'll find that the front end and the back end will move fairly equally. If your horse is a bit stiff, you might have to do a hindquarter yield to help the front then come across. Okay, but generally if you've done that little short range exercise from the other video, you'll find that your horse will follow that feel nicely. Okay, so that's a change of direction at the walk and trot. And then there's a falling leaf. Now the falling leaf is a left and a right, and it's a stop and a start, a clear stop and a clear start. So I'll just get Major out of my space again. I'll just keep this a bit short range so you can see both of us. When we want him to go in the start, his forequarters has got to go out and around. When he stops, yield his hind. It's a clean stop, a clean hindquarter yield, and if they're doing a real nice job, they'll stay out of your personal space. Okay. Quite often, if the hindquarters isn't yielding all that well, you'll find the horse comes on top of you in the hindquarter yield. If that happens to you, just back him up a bit before you let him stop, so he learns that he's got to keep his weight back as he's doing his stop, because you don't want him yielding his hind and coming on his front end. Okay, so I'll do this again. The forequarter out and around, out of my space, hindquarter yield, and I've got to keep my personal space up a bit while I'm doing that, otherwise he'll come in as he's doing the hindquarter yield. If he does, make sure you do a little bit of back up before you stop. Forequarter, trot, hindquarter yield, and if he's in your space, just a little bit of a back up to finish. Okay, so they're two really different tasks. When you're doing your spirals assignment, really try to keep that trot from your circle into your spiral and keep that in there to the finish. When you do that, the horse will have to keep himself picked up through the middle and keep his hind underneath him. It'll really help you with your impulsion later on in your level 2 ridden areas. So I'll just show you here with Major. We'll go this way, Major. Okay, so out to a trot. When he comes in, and I'll let him go past, this is something that will help you also. When you're about to bring him in, turn with your horse. Okay, so here I'm turning with him. He sees me coming, gives him a chance to get that hind underneath him, to keep that trot energy right into the stop. Okay, so if they go a little bit slow as they're coming off the circle and you lose a bit of impulsion, you'll have to use your phases and get a little bit of trot into that stop. It's the finish that teaches the horse, so try and have those last few steps with some impulsion, and then you'll find the horse will maintain his impulsion as they're doing the spiral.